Imagine this. You wake up thousands of years ago. There are no maps, no hiking trails, no climbing gear, no stories about what waits above the clouds. In front of you stands a mountain so tall that its peak disappears into the sky. Everyone else walks around it, but one person looks up and starts climbing. Not because they have to, not because someone told them to, but because they're curious. Who was the first human to do that? We'll never know their name, but somewhere in prehistory, someone became the first explorer to ask one simple question: what's up there? For almost all of human history, mountains weren't places to visit, they were places to avoid. Steep cliffs meant broken bones. Thin air made breathing harder. Cold temperatures killed. One wrong step could end your entire bloodline. To ancient humans, mountains often marked the edge of the known world. Beyond them was uncertainty, and uncertainty was dangerous. So why would anyone climb one? The answer wasn't glory, it wasn't exercise, it wasn't to take a selfie from the summit. It was curiosity. Humans are one of the few animals that willingly spend energy just to satisfy a question. That strange urge has shaped our entire species. Long before writing, long before civilization, someone looked at a mountain and thought, "I wonder what's on top." Imagine the journey. The lower slopes are easy. Trees provide shade, birds sing overhead, streams flow between rocks. Everything feels familiar. But after hours of climbing, the forest begins to disappear. The air grows colder, the wind becomes stronger, the ground turns into loose stones. Every step demands more effort than the last. Your legs burn, your lungs ache. No one has told you whether reaching the top is even possible. You keep climbing anyway. As the altitude rises, something strange happens. The world below starts shrinking. The rivers become thin silver lines. Animals disappear. The places where you once hunted now look tiny. For perhaps the first time in human history, someone saw the earth from above. That single view may have changed how they understood the world forever. Scientists think early humans often climbed hills and smaller peaks to scout for food, watch migrating animals, or spot danger. Higher ground offered survival advantages. From above, you could see enemies before they saw you. You could locate herds. You could discover rivers and forests hidden beyond the horizon. Each successful climb rewarded useful information. Over generations, people climbed a little higher, then higher still. Eventually, someone kept going, not stopping at the safe viewpoint, not turning back when the trees ended, just climbing. What happened when they finally reached the summit? Silence. No voices, no predators, only wind rushing across endless stone. Above them stretched an open sky unlike anything they'd ever experienced. Below them lay an entire world they had never imagined. Villages didn't exist yet. Cities wouldn't appear for thousands of years. The earth looked wild, untouched, infinite. That moment may have sparked something deep inside the human mind, because once you've seen the world from above, it's impossible to stop wondering what lies beyond the next horizon. Many ancient cultures later believed mountains were sacred. The tallest peaks became homes of gods, spirits, or ancestors. Maybe that belief wasn't accidental. Imagine watching someone return after disappearing into the clouds. They survived a place no one else dared enter. They came back describing landscapes nobody had seen. To those listening, it must have sounded supernatural. Over time, mountains became symbols of mystery. But the first climber probably wasn't searching for gods. They were searching for answers. Modern mountaineers spend months preparing to climb famous peaks. They carry insulated clothing, ropes, navigation devices, emergency supplies. Ancient humans had none of these, just strong legs, sharp instincts, and remarkable determination. Even today, climbing a steep mountain is exhausting. Doing it barefoot or in simple animal hide footwear would have been unimaginably difficult. Yet humans kept climbing, because every generation inherited something more powerful than fear: curiosity. That same curiosity eventually pushed people across deserts, across oceans, into the deepest caves, and finally, into space. Every great expedition in history follows the same pattern. Someone sees the unknown. Everyone else says, "Don't go." One person replies, "Why not?" The first mountain climber wasn't trying to make history. They weren't chasing fame. There was no audience waiting at the top, no reward, no celebration, just a question that refused to leave their mind. And perhaps that's what makes them one of the most important humans who ever lived. Because civilization wasn't built only by the strongest hunters or the fastest runners. It was built by people willing to climb toward places no one else had ever seen. So the next time you stand at the bottom of a mountain or face something that feels impossible, remember that somewhere in the distant past, one anonymous human looked up at a towering peak, took a deep breath, placed one foot on the stone, and unknowingly became the first person to prove that the greatest discoveries always begin with a single step upward.